In terms of the agenda, we are now on case study 3, which is on DBSA Asset Care Program. And that case study is going to be delivered by Abdul Aziz Jacobs. So let me also give you an indication of who Abdul is. So I'll read out his bio. Abdul Aziz Jacobs is the Executive Director, Infrastructure Services at Cape Agulhas Municipality, responsible for all engineering functions in the municipality, including roads, stormwater, building control, water sanitation, solid waste management, electrical services, and the project management unit. He is a qualified Red Seal electrician from Olifantsfontein, has a master's wireman's license. He holds a BTech in electrical engineering and also an MBA from the University of Stellenbosch. He has diverse experience in asset-intensive environment such as mining, aviation, education, nuclear, and municipal sectors locally and internationally. He is a seasoned infrastructure asset management specialist, ensuring specialized equipment and infrastructure is optimally maintained to industry best practices and the original equipment manufacturer specifications with minimal impact to operations. Holistically managing assets through the asset lifecycle, mitigating risks, ensuring regulatory compliance. He has experience in end-to-end computerized maintenance management system implementation and strong leadership, stakeholder management, and administration management experience. He is currently a member and serves on the Council of the South African Asset Management Association, a member of the Institute of Directors of South Africa, the Institute for Waste Management of South Africa, the Association of Municipal Electricity Utilities of Southern Africa, and also the Southern Africa Revenue Protection Association. He is currently embarking on a doctoral journey investigating the roles executives have in responsible asset stewardship whilst achieving organizational objectives. That is Abdul. Thanks, Abdul.
Thank you, Teboho, and good afternoon or good morning, at least, colleagues. Teboho, I'm humbled to present in front of the Association of Electrical Engineers. Myself also, my undergrad electrical as well, as you must have heard from the introduction from Teboho. I'm going to take this few minutes to share some of our learnings at Cape Agulhas Municipality. I think that a strong asset management intervention is really required to kind of reverse the decay of the infrastructure in our metropolitan municipalities, our districts, and our local municipalities. Just to add on to the introduction of Teboho, I've been with Cape Agulhas. This is my 5th year with Cape Agulhas Municipality. It's my first exposure at a level, at a local government level. And I think I made a promise to myself that my background, I'll try and influence the local government sphere to take asset management seriously. And that's what I've done. I've had the good fortune of collaborating with Archie and others. With the Cape Winelands, I've been doing some collaboration, and with the Development Bank of South Africa and Provincial Treasury in the Western Cape. I've been doing some roadshows and trying to preach the word of asset management and how we look after our assets. And you'll see my strong focus is really on getting executive buy-in. And today I will share with the colleagues that is tuned in what we are doing. So I liked the presentation of Archie. It was quite insightful. It kind of gave a holistic overview of asset management and what is important. Now, I'm not going to speak about what is important. I'm going to just relay with you the case study at Cape Agulhas Municipality. And hopefully, this is not only for public servants in the municipal sector, but also for public servants in other state-owned enterprises, and also the engagement of the Development Bank of South Africa. I did invite them. Unfortunately, they couldn't join me to co-present with me. And I just thought I'll use this opportunity. I was invited by the SAIEE to, from an AMEU perspective, which I'm a member of, to also share some our learnings and also opportunities, especially around the funding model of the DBSA. And I think that might be interesting to some. I'm going to just move on to the next slide. Okay, so in 2019, our journey started at Cape Agulhas Municipality, where we collaborated with Cape Winelands. And the first step that we did, as Archie also articulated, was to get a asset management maturity assessment done. So we have completed our asset management maturity. And from the asset management maturity, we identified 6 areas. And one of the things that we decided to do is how do we communicate as part of our change management. And the banner that you see on the screen, what is asset management? It's a very simple message for the citizens and for the politicians to understand what is asset management. And if you have a look at that, you'll see that we say that asset management is an integrated approach involving all organizational departments to effectively manage existing and new assets to deliver services to customers. And that's what we do. The intent is to maximize benefits, reduce risks, and provide satisfactory levels of service. And you'll see that word levels of service features quite highly in SAMS to the community in a sustainable manner, providing an optimum balance. Good asset management practices are fundamental to achieving sustainable and thriving communities. So when we spend this money on maintenance, and normally there's very little money that goes around, and we say there's a limitation of resources, but when we spend the money in the right places, it's more important. And so this is what good asset management practices allows us to do. And
sorry, Abdul, can I ask you to just put it on full presentation mode, please?
Is it not on full presentation mode? Okay, there we go. Sorry, my apologies. I thought I clicked it earlier. Okay, so so there's where good asset management practices, features, and we know, and I think one of the big struggles with all of the delegates here is that maintenance management is not a sexy topic. When you do maintenance management and proactive maintenance, it doesn't translate into new infrastructure, if that makes any sense. The councillors like to see new roads, etc. I'm going to move on to, so I just wanted to touch on the aspect that we actually use. Part of the change management is to communicate the message effectively. And now I'm coming to the project and how the project is funded. And I try to maneuver my way into different funding sources because, our council wasn't keen to spend a few million rand on an asset care roadmap or journey or an asset care program. So the DBSA, I collaborated with the DBSA. I wrote the specification for them. And then they put out the tender for an asset care program for municipalities, and it was for 6 municipalities. So the DBSA has a special department where they are actually focusing on asset management now. So the DBSA, and I'm sure most of you know, they fund capital investment in infrastructure projects in the country of South Africa and also the neighboring countries as well. And so now they've actually, through this project, they've actually put aside 5 billion rand for asset care projects that will unlock investment into new assets and taking care of existing assets. That's just for the panel's information as well. So the DBSA funded project enables municipalities to improve service delivery through implementation of best practices in asset management. They also have a financing model, and this is now off slide. They have a financing model where once you've identified what assets need to be replaced, etc., they could actually advance fund grant funding for those who are in the municipal space. So if you need to build a new substation in 5 years and it's already deteriorated to end of life, and you realize that there's no budget in the planning cycle for the next year or two, and it needs imminent replacement, then they would fund that in advance. Just a thought. Okay, so the goal of the asset care program is transitioning, and I think Archie touched on this about getting out of firefighting mode and reactive to a proactive state of asset management. Okay, so from the 2019 maintenance maturity assessment, these are the 6 focus areas that needed improvement. We needed a comprehensive asset management framework that was now flowing from the 2019 project. And then the DBSA came on board to say, let's develop the comprehensive asset management framework, and they fully funded that. And then the next one was improve long-term planning and budgeting. So that speaks to long-term financial planning and also having a capital expenditure framework, which we don't have in municipalities for longer than 3 years generally. Some municipalities do, but most don't. And then formalizing work management. I was like flabbergasted when I came into municipal environment and I saw that they don't manage their work formally through work orders. They still use black books, etc. And I'm sure everybody knows where that, I mean, we all started at that before we formalized our work. And then information management. Archie, you touched on that again. And we need this information to be able to make accurate management decisions for asset replacements, etc., and for asset management. And then we find, and I think Floris mentioned this one about, the skills leaving the system, succession planning and knowledge management. And I've established at the airports company. So I've worked with the airports company of South Africa for quite a number of years, and we implemented Oracle Enterprise Asset Management. And one of the key parameters of implementing a robust asset management system was, having a knowledge management suppository. So if you actually do maintenance on a conveyor belt or on an elevator, you can actually state in your description what actions were taken. So if the same problem arises, and then somebody could just go back into the work order and see what the detail of that work order was. And then enhanced performance management framework. Okay, I'm moving through the slides very swiftly. So as I've mentioned, this is currently a live project. We are nearing the end of phase 1 at Cape Agulhas municipality. So we've done the maintenance maturity assessment already before the DBSA project, but the other 5 municipalities, we've facilitated that they do their maturity assessments. And then we've developed a SAMP, and we currently finalizing our asset, and I think Floris also had it on his screen, the departmental or the branch SAMPs, or AMPs, they call it, asset management plans for the department, electricity, water, sanitation, and fleet. But that's really a strategic document to guide you what is the future tactics. And so then we realize, I saw somebody asked in the chat box, this asset management journey, the roadmap, where do you find the roadmap? And I've been doing some research myself, and Archie, you can help me if I'm wrong here, I like what University of Pretoria and Archie is doing around the asset management roadmap. So they've started writing a document. They've actually documented the process, but everybody actually has their own roadmap and identify where they are and what is the next level of improvement. So the outcome of our project, and I'm very happy to share with anybody with no restriction, all the work that we've done, our SAMPs at our municipality, our asset management plans. So if you call me in about a week or two's time, and you can get my details through Archie, I'll share all of the documents and the processes that we've developed at our municipality. So we're in negotiation with the bank at this point in time to start implementing phase 2. One of our project scope in phase 1 is to determine what does phase 2 look like. Okay, so these are the 6 municipalities that are currently involved in this project. That's why I said it's a live project. I'm from Cape Agulhas municipality, Solplaatjie, Bergrivier, Msunduzi, Walter Sisulu, and Ray Kunyeni is all part of this DBSA asset care program. I'm not going to even go through this slide. I'm going to just briefly touch on the slide. It's a slide, you can see it's from Swain Smith. I kind of like the slide. Archie did mention I should change the title of the slide, but it's fine. I just wanted to say, and everybody knows, if you're in a reactive mode, it costs a lot more money, and there's a lot more frustration until you move into the, I don't know if you can see my pointer, I can't see my own pointer. But here on the right-hand side, far right-hand side, the systemic part is the ISO 55000 management system. But I've actually embedded ISO 55000 right from the start. I just thought I'd mention that. And my core focus really is on getting executive buy-in, and that's most important. And you'll see on my last slide. Okay, so this is basically our asset management roadmap, and this is basically for phase 1, and that's why I said the asset management roadmap will look different, but it kind of has the same features that most asset management journeys or roadmaps have, and I think maybe there is a room for formalization of what a roadmap should look like in academia. Okay, that's just a slide of how our roadmap looks. And these are the deliverables of phase 1. I've gone through them. We've done an overview on what our ICT and our GIS systems looks like. I want to say to everybody that we don't have a computerized maintenance management system. And part of this is actually just to get to the business case and why it's important to have an asset management system. But it's in Afrikaans, they'll say it's vanselfsprekend. So we've gone through all of the ticks, as you can see there, and we're still busy developing the functional or departmental AMPs. Okay, there's some general findings. I'm wrapping up. I think I have 2-3 slides still. Resource constraints are real. We all know that money is little and that we have to do more with what we've got. It has also already been mentioned. And I've just mentioned about the CMMS. There's opportunities for improving the situation centered around the use of technology. Municipalities are plagued by theft and vandalism, as you all know. And likewise, Eskom and Transnet and the other SOEs. The importance of building long-term financial plans is abundantly clear, because we can't have this short-term view like councils are only 5 years, but we should have longer asset management planning. Better financial and asset planning is clear. And then also collaboration. The last one is I've established through this project that, and I knew it a long time ago, that asset management is everybody's business. It's not only the project champions business or the maintenance excellence centers business, but it's right through from finance to SEM to the technicians on the ground. Okay, so there is just proposed initiatives for phase 2, and we will then most probably go through the same process. For those who are in the municipal space, there's a good document besides GRAP 17, which is very financially orientated asset management. SIDMAS, the document is very comprehensive. It is there. I'm not going to, for anybody that needs any information about SIDMAS, I can give some information on the sideline, but very robust asset management practices has been developed by National Treasury. And I think that more importantly is we should start measuring and reporting on our asset performance. And I think that one is actually something missing from the SDPIP, what is this? The acronym eludes me, performance management, the performance management system of a municipality. It should actually be reflecting in there. In our IDPs, for example, asset management for municipalities, if you want to know if you're really serious about your municipality, serious about asset management, is that asset management plans and asset management topics are the funding, and also the narrative around it should be reflected in your integrated development plan, on your service delivery budget implementation plan. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so Jaykaran, our commitment to the community, I've already taken you through what is asset management for our municipality. I think I have about 2 minutes left. As Jaykaran municipality, we commit to taking care of our infrastructure so that future generations can thrive and businesses can prosper. You see, we have a link between the residents and the businesses. We do this by committing to asset management best practices. And you'll see that I actually managed to get the new sworn-in Minister for Infrastructure in the Western Cape to sign our pledge. You can see there's our pledge, the one I just read out for you. I'm not going to play the video, or maybe I'm going to skip the video. Just to say that I think it's very important that we actually involve the executives, the strategic players that can assist in decision-making, and also supporting our projects, our asset management projects. Otherwise, we're fighting in the wind because project champions, asset management project champions will try and implement systems, and the council doesn't see the true value of it. And I think a very profound statement is actually the best way to prepare for the future is to take care of the present. So a lot has been spoken about how we need to manage our assets that we currently have. And you'll remember that there's billions of rands of assets already in place. And besides just doing some reactive repair work, very little preventive maintenance happens in municipalities, and that's why I've embarked on this project. And as you can see, this is just a feedback on a real life project that is currently taking place. I think that photo was taken about less than 2 months ago. But thank you, colleagues, for listening to me. I'm done. Thank you, Teboho.
Thank you. Thanks, Abdul. Thanks for the presentation on DBSA Asset Care Program. I think to echo your sentiments, I think this is definitely an opportunity for the electricity distribution units to get that needed funding in order to pursue the implementation of a structured asset management practice. Thanks for that, Abdul.